helplessness is your best friend, savage.
Well, it's October now, so I thought I'd all try and scare by showing the most scariest witch of them all.
You may already be familiar with the GamerGate phenomenon, which basically goes something like this.
That's right, I'm doing a video on Rebecca Watson. I will solemnly swear to avoid all mentions of coffee and elevators throughout this video. Oh crap, I just mentioned it just now. No!
A female game developer made a game called Depression Quest, in which the player is meant to experience what it's like to live with depression on a day-to-day basis.
Now, for the sake of argument, I actually have played Depression Quest because I wanted to see what it was like, and it was free. And you know what? This game is way below average. Heck, even I could do better, and all I've ever done is play around with Game Maker for a few hours a day. And it's not even a game really, because all it is like a choose-your-own-adventure game with all the good options crossed out so you know what a normal person would live with. And isn't the whole point about being depressed is you're trying to get yourself out of depression, not living. Because I don't think anybody with depression would actually want to live with it. But anyway, moving on.
She was immediately harassed by mostly male gamers who felt that the game was not worthy.
There are a number of things wrong with that statement. It's hard to tell where to begin. For starters, how do you know that it was mostly male? I know plenty of women who don't like Zoe Quinn because she's basically sleeping her way up the ladder, which personally I don't mind because Zoe Quinn could have fucked all of Ubisoft, and I don't give a flying fuck about what her sex life is. And furthermore, it's the fact that she is corrupting gaming journalists to service her. She sabotaged Game Jam, which was trying to help get women into game publishing. I think it was like they were getting women who don't know how to program, let them pitch their ideas, and they would give them enough resources to get their game out there. Which she sabotaged it by saying that it was corrupt, that they were only getting paid 8% of what they were earning and the rest was going to go to charity. Because as we all know, helping other people is evil. But anyway, the online harassment about Zoe Quinn didn't even start until after the post about her boyfriend, her cheating on her boyfriend with numerous game publishers. Not gaming publishers. The gaming press, which by her own definition, she actually raped her boyfriend, considering she, in one post, said that infidelity was a form of cheating on somebody because it puts your partner at risk. So, in turn, she raped her boyfriend. So anyway, moving on.
Her ex-boyfriend then posted a salacious tell-all in which he accused her of cheating on him.
It wasn't alleged, she actually openly admitted to cheating on her with a boyfriend.
Including sleeping with a video game journalist. The journalist in question had never actually reviewed Depression Quest.
No, but he did write numerous articles on Zoe Quinn, declaring her the best thing since sliced bread.
But the gamers who were harassing her used this as a further excuse to ramp up their misogyny and harassment of her, and started sending her very abusive messages and threatened her life, found her phone number and her address and published them online, forced her to leave her home and stay with friends. And apparently the whole thing was obviously quite stressful for her.
You know what, Mom? You know what I'm going to get you next Christmas? A big wooden cross. So every time you feel unappreciated for all your sacrifices, you can climb on up and nail yourself to it.
The gamers then came up with the GamerGate hashtag as a way to really obviously cover up violently misogynistic harassment with the idea that this is all just about ethics in video game journalism.
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
Despite the fact that they were continuing to attack the female video game developer while never actually going after the reviewer who, again, did not actually review her game. When people saw through that trick, they came up with the Not Your Shield hashtag, in which they created sock puppets pretending to be women and minorities who also supported the GamerGate hashtag.
That is so stupid. I wish I had vodka that I could get drunk with right now. But sadly, I haven't replaced that bottle of vodka that I keep on my desk since that video on Anita Sarkeesian that I did several months ago. Actually, wait a minute, there's still some left in it. I'll probably drink this after the video to help me get over that headache she's slowly giving me. But anyway, you know, I could mention right now Shield Projection. They've had a number of live streams where they've had, you know, minorities, you know, blacks, Koreans, and so on and so forth. They've had a couple donated to women only, you know, live streams where they've had, you know, I think they had a couple of lesbians on there and a transvestite talking about Gamergate and how much they support Gamergate. So either they're all sock puppets or she's talking out of her ass like she normally does. And I'll make sure to post a link to their live streams in the description if I can remember to.
As if transparent misogyny and poor arguments would suddenly make sense if only they came from an oppressed minority. It's the Twitter equivalent of saying, "Oh, I can't be racist. I have a black friend who I won't name who totally laughed at this joke."
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
There are hundreds of pages of chat logs showing the gamers dreaming up these overly complex misogynistic operations. You can see them at sites like We Hunted the Mammoth. I'll include a link below where they do an admirable job of sorting through all of that dreck to point out the really horrible bits. So I won't spend much time on that. What I do want to talk about is that there really are serious problems with ethics in video game journalism.
Hooray, she's actually making sense for a change. I'm wondering how long that will last for.
However, it doesn't necessarily have much to do with female indie game developers having friends and lovers within the video game industry.
Yes, it is. It's all about keeping gaming journalists who claim to be journalists, but yet don't act like gaming journalists. They act like bloggers most of the time, up until one of those big events that come up, and then they suddenly remember that, oh yes, we're journalists. Now give us a free pass so we can talk about video games for a fucking change. Nowadays, most video game journalists, which probably kickstarted this when they released those 10 articles in a span of a day or so, demonizing games, claiming that they're all played by white, straight males who all want to keep minorities down and beat up women somehow because they're evil.
Back in 2011, the Redner Group made the huge mistake of publicly tweeting their plan to blacklist any reviewers who gave bad reviews to their game Duke Nukem, which turned out to be pretty much every review, which is why this plan did not work.
Personally, I just thought Duke Nukem was a middle-of-the-road game. Nothing truly horrendously bad about it. I mean, nothing that I wouldn't recommend over Call of Duty or Crysis 2 or 3. But anyway, I'm going to be skipping the next couple of minutes or so because she's just going to be mentioning about old, you know, times where game reviewers have been corrupt assholes, and we already know that.
That's why I and many other people are really loving this renaissance of indie developers making games like Depression Quest or Braid or Two Brothers.
Depression Quest doesn't even deserve to be in the same sentence as those other two games.
I love these sorts of games because they come at video games from a different perspective, and they take chances with forming a narrative and without going back to the normal video game tropes that we've seen over and over and over again. Although admittedly, sometimes those are fun too. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want to spend several hours in Borderlands shooting things with awesome guns just to get more awesome guns. But it's just like with movies and TV. I want both Citizen Kane and Pacific Rim. I want both True Detective and America's Next Top Model. And we're poised to get that as gamers. We are, especially with platforms like Steam, making it easier than ever for indie developers to be creative and find an audience. But there are things getting in the way of us achieving that dream.
Just like social justice warriors who complain at a drop of a hat just because this game doesn't contain a black midget bisexual who happens to be missing one eye and both her hands, because we need to have that important perspective in a video game, or else everybody's being oppressed, not depressed.
And those things include review fixing by large corporations, or being overly reliant on shallow reviews on sites like Metacritic. And more than anything, it includes Rush Limbaugh-esque misogynistic gamers who are bullying and harassing women out of the industry instead of joining together and trying to make the industry better.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.